So Mallory is here with us today. She's actually with VentureNet Iowa, which facilitates the state of Iowa's Economic Development Authority Innovation Continuum Funds. And so she's going to talk a little bit about some of the more non-dilutive funding opportunities. And as you guys might see too, I didn't point it out, but in the folders, we do have a handout today, and on the back side of it, we'll actually talk about the different funds, the non-dilutive resources, but also all the contact information from today's presenters too. So I kind of wanted to point that out, as I know someone asked about, how many angels, how many venture capital are here within the Midwest. So, Mallory, do you want to take it away?
Great. Well, thanks for having me, you guys. I'm Mallory. I'm the administrative coordinator with VentureNet Iowa, and you may have heard of the managing principal, Adrian Greenwald, where you might have had a conversation with one of us in the past. Have you guys heard of VentureNet? Anybody? Raise your hands. Couple? Okay, great. Well, we're always happy to have a conversation with startups. We're happy to get them connected to, other networks if you don't fit into our specific niche programs, which up here we have a continuum here. I'll work through that. So if you've heard of the POCR, Proof of Commercial Relevance, we do have the IPOCR program too for bioscience companies coming out of a university. Really just focused on that research and development at that stage, but it's a $25,000 loan. You're not expected to pay that back until you're generating some revenue. So along with the IPOCR, the POCR programming aimed more towards the IT or the ag tech, always that technology component. Moving through the continuum, the demonstration fund, it's a little bit more, you can receive these, that's why we call it a continuum, is you can receive these funds. So if you've received POCR, you can come back for the demo fund, that kind of thing. I can talk about more of the eligibility here. All right, so I don't do these very often, which is fine. This is great. My background is in education, so I like talking to people, but I don't like to speak in front of people. So if we have questions come up, please raise your hand. So we focus on the innovation, the technology, or proprietary component of your company. So the startups have to be in conversations with that IP attorney, that kind of thing. Let's see. We do have, some eligibility requirements would be 2 co-founders or 2 people working on the project. At the POCR level, we're not expecting you to be working on this project full time. At the demonstration, we're looking for more of that well-rounded team. There's a private match required, so if you're going for that POCR, it's a 2-to-1 public to private match. So if you're going for that $25,000 loan, then you'd be matching with a 12.5. So it goes well with other investors. Maybe not the seed round yet for that, but as we get through the continuum towards the innovation acceleration, the Propel programs, they are they run well with that seed investment. So we do like to work closely with others. I saw Alex Taylor in here somewhere, but we work well with others too. We like to be in conversations with what's going on in the investment community. Again, our target industries, we work with those bioscience companies. Advanced manufacturing, if you've heard of the Manufacturing 4.0 initiative coming out of IEDA, who we're contracted through. Always IT, which could be the ag tech sectors, ed tech, coming out of Iowa. A lot of that makes sense here. So the application process is where you get to talk to me. Again, happy to have conversation with anybody after this too, if you guys have questions. Usually I set up a Zoom call or coffee chat to hear, mainly I want to make sure you have a functional prototype. You have 2 people working on a project. If you're at that POCR stage, or if you're working at that demo stage, more that you're seeking to hire and round out your team. But our applications are lengthy, so it is a process. That's there's a cycle. So every other month we accept applications. We can only accept a few at a time, not because of the fund being limited, but just because really our team. So the Technology Commercialization Committee through IEDA, they're limited, they're volunteers, they want to make sure that every company that comes through, they have enough time to overlook all of their information. So their application, we have a business plan that needs to be submitted, and we have a list of things that needs to be included in that business plan, a lot of what Eric was talking about. We want to look at the financials from the past 3 years. We want to look at your performance, projections going into the next 3 years. There's a lot, right? So Eric talked to that, and that was really great, and it encapsulated a lot of what the investment from the state looks like. We're the non-diluted funding, so we don't take any equity in your company. A lot of times companies use the state funding as a validation, like, hey, the state invested in me, take it to another investor, and the investor's like, oh, they did check off all those, requirements that the state requires. So a lot of it through the state is just that, checking the boxes. So after you submit your application, then VentureNet, we take you through just a panel is what we call it. So it's a 2-hour panel with the VentureNet. We bring in a group of professionals from different sectors, IP, maybe an investor, maybe just a business generalist, maybe a marketing strategy person. We try and fill out that table of the advisor panel pretty well, just to have good background. So if you're in the ed tech, maybe somebody that's in that same space. Because, as we bring people to the table, it's easier to network, easier to find other people to connect you further along your path. So you present at VentureNet, and I think the next, here we go, goes through what you expect to present at VentureNet. You go through a 20-minute uninterrupted pitch. So we give you 20 minutes, talk to the panel, and then that panel is going to take you through a 45-minute Q&A approximately. And then those panelists will fill out an evaluation. How many people have gotten to be on a panel with VentureNet? Yeah. Okay, so you fill out that panel evaluation. We take really good notes, and then we try and get all of that sent back out to the company, the founder, so that way they can have really good quality feedback to take further to the IEDA board, in hopes to get that funding. So here we'll talk about the Technology Commercialization Committee. It's a much shorter presentation, but you do a 5-minute pitch. Typically, you go into the TCC. They've already read all of your materials, and they've looked at the panel evaluation information that came out of the VentureNet panel. And up here you can see there's just a few committee members, but we do get a lot of applications per year. And we do have really good success rate. So the people that do end up going to present to the TCC, a lot of people end up getting funded. Adrian and I try and help guide you whether you're ready or not ready, come back, let's try again. We try and be as candid as possible, but this TCC meeting goes really fast. And then we're moving on to the IEDA board, where they have the fiducial responsibility of saying, yes, this company should get funding, and then you contract with IEDA. So, just a couple points here, and I know I'm trying to keep it quick today so we can keep on with the agenda, but really just the candid feedback and the networking. I think, working with VentureNet, it's always, you get connected to somebody or you meet a new face, so I'm happy to talk to anybody after this here. So, yay, thank you guys for listening.